Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L here to do my gunpla review for the Barbatos Lupus. This was actually the first kit I ever built. Because of that, it's got quite a few imperfections in terms of like also panel lining. It was the first kit I ever tried panel lining with. Let me just make sure. I've got a different setup this time, so hopefully it'll work. You'll see my fingers here as I talk. And sometimes you'll see the video playing in the background. But anyway, Barbatos Lupus, let's get into it. So like I said, this is the first build that I ever did. I'm a big fan of Iron-Blooded Orphans. For those that don't know, the way I collect Gundams, I collect the Gundam series that I really enjoy. So for right now, that includes Iron-Blooded Orphans, Witch of Mercury, not because I enjoy the series, but because I enjoy the Gundam designs. I think it's an okay one. I think it could have been better. Sometimes I think it's a little bit too like. Sometimes I think they don't go all the way that they could. Anyway, Gundam Wing, G Gundam. Who am I missing? Oh, Gundam 00. That's my favorite series. And then I pick up any extra Gundams if they have really unique gimmicks. Oh, and I'm getting a lot of the Gundam build kits, but that's largely because those kits overlap with the series I like. So anyway, here we are with the Barbatos. Now, I don't plan on ever getting any other version of the Barbatos, so this is pretty one and done for me. Let's talk about the gimmicks real quick when it comes to this one. So, the big thing with the... I gotta be very careful. I don't touch this thing very often, but very quickly, the big thing with this is the inner frame shenanigan that's going on because of the lore reasons for how the Gundam frames work. Now, you can kind of see it here. Sorry if the thing doesn't focus. This joint is very loose. That's why I'm trying to be very careful. But anyway, the inner frame, it's a pretty cool thing. I didn't realize the significance of this when I was first building it because this was the first Gundam I built. But let me just go and show you all the things I did here and there. So overall, I don't really recall having any big problems with the build. You know, like in some ways, this build made me think that all gunpla kits would be amazing. So a little bit of blame goes to him in that regard because others were not that great. But it was a very solid build overall. I really enjoyed it. It's what kicked off my Gundam addiction pretty much. I wish I could bring it closer so you could see all the little mistakes I made when it came to panel lining. This was the first time that I did the enamel type paint. I can't bring it close enough to get the focus in right. But you can see little spots here and there. You can see little imperfections. If I point one out right there, there's one right there. But my friend always says that it makes it look really cool. All the little imperfections make it look really cool. I just said that I wouldn't get any other Barbatos kits, but if I ever get to the point where I've collected everything I wanted, I might just come back and buy another Barbatos only for the sake of making a more perfect, clean version of the one that I started the whole thing with. But overall, build-wise, I enjoyed it. It has a lot of cool little details. Oh, geez. And it snapped. Okay, so that's pretty normal. I'm not sure why mine is so loose. I don't know if other people have had this problem with it. I'm going to be very careful here. But hey, at least it'll make painting easier. Anyway, the panel lining itself wasn't done because after a certain point, I got to the point where I just didn't want to continue messing it up. But it still looks really nice. But because of all the detail on it, panel lining this one, I really do feel is a must. Now let's see, other things to talk about. When it comes to me and the Gundams, I like building the Gundams for the sake of appreciation. Do I end up appreciating the design of the Gundam Barbatos Lupus more after going through this? One thing I will say, yes. I like how it's proportioned, I like the balance, it doesn't tip over. I actually don't need to have it on a stand, that's just a precaution for how fragile it seems. I like a lot of little tricks that they did here. Like, this is by far one of the coolest. I thought I was going to have to put a sticker on this. Oh, you can't see it very well. Sorry. Let's see if I can switch over to another feed. But yeah, I thought I would have to put a sticker on it. But no, it's just a really cool trick of the plastic. It's really neat to get the iron flower symbol from Tekkadan. And ultimately, when I'm going about and building this and just seeing the detail on the plastic and seeing the frame and whatnot, like you can kind of see the foot frame there, that little piping there. It's not, you know, it's all molded into the plastic. But just seeing it was really cool. This is definitely a kit, like unlike the first video I did on the Gunvola. This one did make me really appreciate all the little things that went into it. One thing I also like about the design philosophy for the Gundams from Iron-Blooded Orphans, at least when it came to the Barbatos, is that they are a little bit more round than the standard Gundams, and you can really see it here with the shoulder part. I guess to a degree you can kind of see the curves here on the arm. It really makes the Gundam seem really sleek. Now, in terms of the head, I do not recall hating the head on this Gundam. I must have, because I hate the head on all Gundams except one. But, you know, given that I can't remember it, I'm going to give it the pass. I guess in a review video we should also talk about the price point, but this is a high grade. It's a standard high grade. It's not premium Bandai. And it's old now. You can get it pretty easily. You can order it from any Gundam site. Still a very good build. And very unique compared to all the Gundams from all the other series. When you compare it within the Iron-Blooded Orphan series, of course you're going to find others with the gimmicks that this one came in with. Articulation, now, I'm not going to lie, I don't want to move this thing too much. I'm moving it around in my hands, but honestly, it feels really flimsy. Like, I'm looking at this joint right here. Also, look how cool that is. Maybe that should be deeper. Maybe I'm not supposed to be able to see all of that. Anyway, articulation. Well, you can see that I'm moving a little shoulder piece here, so you get quite a good degree of movement. I could probably make a lot of cool poses. Again, I don't want to because every single joint here feels really soft. Maybe it's an age thing. I have to be careful. I love these little fins on the side. The knees are also awesome. Oh, I'm feeling that the leg's about to snap too. Everything feels like it's about to snap. If I really wanted to, I could probably give it a really exotic pose. I always hear as well that the master grade for this one is very good. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to get the master grade because it'd be too much of the same for me personally. Let me just put this thing in here so I can just put it down and not touch it anymore. But yeah, there we go. The Barbatos. Let's refocus on this bad boy. There we go, buddy. Awesome. Yo, I thought I was about to fall over. Anyway, yeah, man. You know, it's the Gundam that started off the journey. I'm happy that I have it. It's the Gundam that had to suffer the most mistakes that I ever committed on a single piece. But, you know, there's another Gundam that actually suffered more just because of the magnitude of the mistake that I did. The build itself, you know, sometimes on these builds, there's one part of an instruction that just isn't the most clear. Maybe it's because you're tired. Maybe because you've done too many and you, like, just take it for granted, the trickery that you're about to do. This one did not have that. I found it very easy to do as a first-timer, for sure. I don't think there are any mistakes here that came about because I built incorrectly. But yeah, Gundam Barbatos Lupus. Ultimately, with this one, I'm immensely satisfied. It's a Gundam that practically screams that you should panel line it because of all the little details it has. It gives you an appreciation for the art from the original Gundam series, just because there's so many little things that you wouldn't have noticed. Specifically, the piping molds that are on the plastic. The layers of armor also really cool. The articulation, to me, it seems good, but I don't want to touch it because mine is very sensitive. I don't want to wreck it too much. What else is there to say? Nothing that I can really think of. Guys, let me know what you thought down below. I'll standardize these reviews as we go forward, hopefully. And till next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day. Oh, I should give it a score. I give... crap, man. Like, I have no complaints about it. How can I get, like, then I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 if I say I have no complaints about it. But, like, there are other builds that satisfy me immensely. Okay, you know what? I'll go with, like, a personal satisfaction number. Because it is not a complex build, like, it doesn't have a lot of extra moving parts. This is really a build to appreciate the mechanics that went into the philosophy of the Gundam from Iron-Blooded Orphans. Personal satisfaction level, not super high because I do like the more complex things because it just looks it looks cooler in the display case. So with that in mind, as a standard simple unit, I have no complaints. I would give it a 10 out of 10 in that regard. As a personal satisfaction thing, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. But that's not its fault. It's just me. Alright, guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.